Hi neighbors, I'm Linda Fobb. One of the most unpleasant tasks our MUD faces is the enforcement of covenants, conditions, and restrictions, what we commonly refer to as the deed. In my 7 years overseeing this MUD, this responsibility has never been carried out fairly. Time and again, I've seen board members who are themselves in violation of their own property deeds, yet these same individuals are quick to pass judgment on others. There's nothing that reveals flawed moral character more starkly than a director violating their own deed while voting to send an attorney letter to a neighbor. In most cases, HOAs handle deed enforcement, and in their absence, neighbors typically resolve deed-related issues among themselves. Here, in WTC MUD 1, communities like Lakeline Oaks, Volente Hills, and Hunters Glen 1 each have their own mechanisms guided by their HOA Board of Directors. Historically, our MUD hired a contractor to enforce deeds in the non-HOA sections of Hunters Glen 2 and all of Anderson Mill West. But questions have long persisted. How should the deed be enforced? Should it include fines? Should taxpayer dollars fund this enforcement? Should there be enforcement at all in a non-HOA section? The truth is, the MUD has no authority to change, interpret, or interfere with the deed, except to enforce it as it is written, and only if the board deems an infraction so severe that it could impact property values. That's it. I should point out that most MUDs don't touch deed enforcement at all. They leave it to the HOAs where they exist, or to property owners to manage themselves when there's no HOA. When it was revealed that former board members spent over a decade trampling on property owners' rights, making up new restrictions and imposing fines, the current board took action. We agreed to a complaint-based system where residents could report issues and the Deed Enforcement Committee would review complaints to determine if they warranted action under our policy. What did we discover? In the past 18 months since our enforcer quit, fewer than 5 complaints were serious enough to warrant board action. Sure, we receive complaints, but most are outside the MUD's authority, and complaints are infrequent. The idea that our neighborhood would descend into chaos without strict enforcement was proven utterly false. The previous attorney left us with 7 active lawsuits for issues like an unregistered car, a truck parked overnight in the street, or minor property aesthetics. Pure nonsense. Within months, the newly formed board, through our new attorney, dismissed every case, recognizing that prosecuting someone over a visible trash can or a truck parked in the street was ludicrous. Common sense prevailed. My belief in what I've fought for is that the MUD should focus on educating residents about their responsibilities to one another according to their deeds. We should empower neighbors to handle disputes in ways that strengthen our community, not tear it apart through legal battles. I'm asking for your support and your vote as I continue to work towards a MUD that fosters understanding and cooperation among neighbors rather than one that targets and legally coerces them over minor issues.